say, call Allah, all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All praise to the Most High in the name of the Lord and Savior Nation Israel, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Give double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, occupy that pushing word and truth sincerity across the four corners. It's the brother Yadai from the GMS Atlanta camp. I want to do a quick lesson, the Godspeed on standing in the footholds of the prophets. Because the reason why we, the hopeful elect, the men of our nation are out here prophesying, is because we're commanded to, and we need to look towards the men of old, the prophets of old, who did what we did before, to build on the doctrine they laid out before us. So let's get into the scripts. Lord willing, edified. We'll start off in 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Because the reason why we do this, the reason why we stand on faith to come out to the highways and hedges to preach the word and gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because the spirit of prophecy resonates within us. And we know because of that, we can't just sit at home and do nothing with it. That would be more or less putting your talent and hiding your talent. You know, if the spirit of prophecy is burning within you, really I'm talking to the men who associate themselves as an Israelite, who believe that they're Israelite, who are sitting at home, maybe seeing the videos, and it makes sense to you. If it makes sense to you, you got to do more than just sitting at home, man, and trying to soak it up for yourself. A part of the doctrine the men, the apostles of Great Millstone push out is getting up and getting out there and pushing the word. Verse 33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. See, that's what scriptures say. The Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So it's not gonna. If it makes sense to you, you gotta. What are you gonna do from there? If it makes sense to you, give glory and thanks to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But from there, there's more you gotta do on top of that, man. Next precept I'm gonna pull is Romans 12 and 1. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. So that's what we do, man. It all begins with understanding what the scriptures are telling you to do, directing you to do. You know, living according to the laws, to the best of your ability. Of course, we can't live perfectly to the laws, and we're not saved by the laws. You know, we're saved ultimately through grace. But what does the scripture say? It says, make yourself holy, which means make yourself separate. Separate yourself from the world. Be in the world, but not of the world. Be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. Incorporate these scriptures into your spirit, man, and build on that. And it says, make your bodies a living sacrifice unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Because it's a very reasonable request of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, for him to ask, especially the men of his nation, to recognize him as the ultimate power, man. That's very reasonable. And it's very reasonable for him to request of you to make your body, your vessel, part of your sacrifice. Your vessel, your body is a living sacrifice. You know, we're given life, and Israelites, you know, we're given the spirit, man. You know, within this vessel, and you gotta make that a living sacrifice. You know, if like I brought out in 1 Corinthians, like I brought out in 1 Corinthians, if it makes sense to you and it's not confusing to you, you got to build on that, man. You got to do more. You know, if you at home and it makes sense to you, strive and pray that you guys should come out and come to the camp, man. You know, if it's really heavy in your spirit, this makes sense, man. This makes sense. Get to a camp. Get to a camp. Learn. Be around some brother. Go to the church.
Yeah. Get these beat time.
I'm gonna go back to that Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 14 and 33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. So go to the church, man. This is a church. This is a spiritual church. know, the Spirit of the Lord doesn't dwell in the temples built by men. We're the spiritual church, man. Get to the church. If it makes sense, give thanks to the Most High that He's actually even supping with you, working with you enough to it makes sense, man. And get your body to the church. Get to the church. You know. But I'm gonna finish off. And 1 Thessalonians. Thessalonians 5 and 18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of the Most High and Yahweh Shah HaMashiach concerning you. So give thanks. That's why I said earlier, if the doctrine and of the apostles, elders, and men of great millstone makes sense to you, give thanks, man. Be thankful for that. Because I don't know what all these people out here believe, but I believe in what the apostles have shown us through the Spirit, man. And I'm thankful for that because through those men, through the Spirit working with those men, I at least can say I have a chance of salvation, man. These people have no chance. They're not even thinking about it, man. You know? What the fuck are they thinking about? I don't even want to know what they're thinking about. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. It really don't even matter, man. Because we believe through the Spirit that we have the key. That we have the key, that we have the access. No matter what nobody else says or thinks, man. Verse 19. Quench not the Spirit. You know? Because if it makes sense to you, and you have to, the Scripture tell you to make your body a living sacrifice, then you can't just sit at home and just sit on it, man. By you doing that, you quenching the Spirit. You being adverse to what the Scriptures tell us to do. And it says, despise not prophesying. So it's not good enough, man, for this doctrine to make sense to you in your spirit, and you not to go out to the highways and hedges, man. You gotta despise not prophesying. You actually speak about covenant and prophesying, man. Because the more you actually stand firm before Yahweh Shai, the more you push His name, the more you live according to His doctrines, you become closer and closer to being made perfect. You know, the Spirit will reveal more and more things to you, man. And it's beautiful. You know, just speaking from your spirit, just speaking off the top, man, it's beautiful, man, that to be amongst men who the Spirit of the Lord is working with, man. You know? But with that, I'm gonna close out. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of the Great Millstone, and that was the Great Millstone. And honors to you, Akim, out there pushing up the word and true sincerity. Until next time, Shalom.